Stampin' friends, it's Ayana Johnston here with another check this out video tutorial. Today I want to show you how I made this Winter Wonderland Christmas embossing card. I used a lot of embossing powder with just a little bit of ink. You can kind of see the iridescent ice snowflakes if I move the card around just a little bit. You can get the supply list for this card on my blog at www.checkthisout.stampinup.net. Okay, so let's get started in making this card. For this video tutorial, you'll need two stamp sets. The first stamp set you're going to need is the Wonderland stamp set. We'll be using the tree down below as well as this branch and the snowflake and the silent night. Then you'll also need your Hostess 6 saying stamp set. And out of this stamp set, we're going to use this sentiment right down below. For cardstock, you're going to need a sheet of basic black, cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then you're also going to need the Winter Wonderland Specialty Designer Series paper. You're going to need one sheet of this cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then you're also going to need another sheet of that same Designer Series paper in this black design cut at 3 1/4 inches by 4.5 inches. Then you're going to need 3 pieces of this gold colored paper that's in that Designer Series as well. And you're going to want to cut this at 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And then you're going to have 2 of these longer strips. You're going to want to cut these at 1/2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Last, you're going to need some Whisper White. You're going to need a sheet of Whisper White for the inside of your card, cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Then you're going to need another sheet of Whisper White, and this sheet's going to be cut at 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. Then you're going to need just a little strip of Whisper White for the Silent Night sentiment that we're going to be using. So first, you're going to want to get your stamp sets. You're only going to need Versamark ink and crumb cake, and we're going to want to go ahead and stamp our images. First, I'm going to go ahead and use my embossing buddy and get all that excess oil off of there so nothing else sticks. And I'm going to do that on all my sheets of paper, or all my Whisper White sheets of paper. Next, I'm going to just stamp the images that I'm going to emboss with the Versamark ink. And then I'm also going to get some embossing powder. I need black embossing powder, I need gold embossing powder, and then you're also going to need the iridescent ice. We're going to use the gold and black first. So first I'm going to stamp my images. I'm going to stamp the Winter Wonderland tree, or the Wonderland tree, on the smaller piece. I'm going to center this. I'm going to stamp my sentiment on this bigger piece for the inside of the card, and my Silent Night on this long strip. And then I'm going to go ahead and emboss it with gold and black. Get that really nice and sticky. Now I'm going to go heat and emboss all of these stamped images. Okay, now I've got all my pieces embossed. Next, I'm going to want to do one more piece of stamping and then some last bit of embossing. I want to go ahead and stamp this cute pine cone here, right in the top corners of my card. And I'm using crumb cake for this. Next, I'm going to go ahead and throw some snowflakes on here with Versamark ink with my snowflake stamp, and then I'm going to emboss it with iridescent ice. Now I have some nice sparkly snowflakes on there. And next I'm going to go ahead and take my lots of labels, framelit the second to the largest one, and I'm going to go ahead and run a nice frame with my Big Shot using that label. So I'll be right back. Okay, now we have this nice frame to adhere our card to, and then we're going to adhere the rest of our card together using our basic black sheet of paper. So first I'm going to adhere this, and then I'm going to adhere the card base and the other pieces of my designer series paper to it. Next, I'm going to take some snowflakes from my snowflake elements, and I'm going to adhere this with some mono tumble glue in the corners of my card. Next, I'm going to add some bows with this metallic cord, the gold color. And then last, I'm going to adhere my Silent Night. And this I just snip out by hand. Now on this sample I decided to do just keep it all together and then do it on a slant. And then for the inside of my card, I would simply take my Happy Holidays blessing and I would adhere that with some snail. And then I adhere my gold pieces. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Be sure to go to my blog at www.checkthisout.stampinup.net to see more of my creative ideas. And I'll just have to stick this bow on there one more time. It looked like it came off there. Happy stamping!